I'm gonna go ahead and
Get it
get ready.
done.
I gotta start like 19 different things here. Yeah,
Mhm.
start down. Yeah, start from 10. I don't know why I keep going to 10. I always
Yeah,
start.
why do you start so high? I don't understand.
It's not that high of a number.
Start from 20.
No.
Well, might as well go to 60 at this rate.
7.
What's the difference?
6.
Yes.
No, that seems like a weird thing that you'd want. 4.
What?
4. 3.
Not looking forward to this.
1. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1, the first official launch-ish, unless we get sued and shut down, of the new season of What Is Going On. I'm KillaphantomBusiness, joined by the other two co-hosts of this season until they're fired for complaining too much, is Couch Leggett and Noah. I actually don't know the order to introduce you in. I guess I'm just doing it in terms of seniority. So we're going, that's the rank now in the non-business we have.
Hello, I am Couch, the senior co-host.
Oh. I guess you're the junior co-host.
What? When did we do this ranking system? I've invested cold hard dollar in this.
Just now, and I don't think that's true. Can't confirm.
It just started.
Yeah, just started.
You can't disprove it.
Cannot disprove it. This is the first episode of the new season of What Is Going On. We'll have a couple of them throughout the summer. How many? I don't know. Depends how lazy I am. But probably
Pretty lazy.
every okay. All right. Every so often we'll kind of iron out the details. The main thing is just getting first one recorded, and we'll go from there. This episode's gonna be a little different because recently Noah and I had a little controller debate, mainly because he had wrong controller opinions. Very wrong controller opinions. So the question of my mind came, what is the best controller? And the only way to figure that out is to go through every single controller for every single system and TV and other devices. We'll rank them on Tier Maker and we'll figure it out. So what I'm going to do is share my screen of the Tier Maker, so you guys can click onto that so we can look at it. We're starting with the Atari 2600 original joystick there. All right, we're starting right here. What are you guys thoughts on the Atari 2600 joystick? We're starting off with a classic.
Noah, I'll let the junior go first.
You remember playing hit games such as Pac-Man, maybe? I don't actually.
Listen, I've never wrapped my fist around the joystick of an Atari 2600. I assume that's where the term joystick came from?
I would assume. I also think it's a very simplistic design. Like there's one button, you got your thing, you got your knob. And
when did it come out? Hold on.
Atari 2600.
1977.
Yeah,
so you were about 15 when this came out.
I'm about 50. Nope, was not born yet.
Pretty close.
Nope. Was not alive by many, many years, actually.
Why is it on Wikipedia? It says 30 million sold as of 2004.
Still selling, baby. Still going. Well, not anymore.
Lifespan ended in 1992.
Oh, well, ran pretty good. I think this is. It's obviously not like an S tier or A tier controller because of like where it was. I think for its time, it's B tier in my opinion. Like it's functional, does its job for the games that were coming out for it. I don't really have too many questions about it. Unlike the next one coming up that looks like a messed up calculator, but yeah, you're definitely gonna have to watch the YouTube version of this to see what we're talking about. The objections of putting this in B.
No, I think that's pretty
or
good.
Could you argue C? Is that where you're kind of like a little lower? Like it's.
I would agree with the B though, because when the time it came out, they didn't really have anything better than that.
No, that's all they knew.
I mean, that was it. Like if you play this with the joystick, I mean, it's got I dare to say a nice joy shaft. Is that a way to put it?
I think what's good about it is that it's a long, like it's tall. Like
Yeah, it looks like it was easy to use. I got to try one out a couple times on an old Atari system that a buddy of mine had, and yeah, it was fun. It was simple enough. I could see how using it for 12 hours is playing Pong all day or whatever it would get a little old with just that. But you know
Maybe
what? Take
blisters.
advantage with what you have.
That's all you had.
Mhm.
But then they decided, you know what? Let's one up it. Let's add some. Are those numbers on the Atari 5200?
All right. Well, when did this come out?
Oh, let's take a look at that.
I don't want to buy it.
Apparently, those controllers are super expensive from the looks of it. Just from
$100.
also, yeah, that essentially is just a numpad.
Oh,
It is just a
Ooh.
it's just a numpad. So I'm not sure what you're gaining benefits wise with the numpad.
So, little background. Came out November 1982. Was discontinued less than a year and a half after it came out.
Okay, so it did not no one
Wow.
took to it. So I'm thinking
Yes.
I'm more towards D. I don't think it's gonna like
Nah, yeah.
it still is a knob,
it's-
like it still functions, but they just kind of like I think maybe tried to do too much with it. Like
It was
You-
definitely ahead of
so-
its time. You can see that,
Like-
from the time it came out to. I'm sure it functioned well. Obviously, I've never tried that one, but it really looks like something that we could see from 20 years ago instead.
yeah, I just
So looking at a close-up image, there are actually 2 buttons on the side of it. Those red things are actually buttons.
oh
The start and pause buttons are on the back of it.
let's see.
And I think you can actually click down the joystick.
The first clicker. The first.
yes,
interesting.
I believe so. Yes. So there's
Well-
a lot of innovation here, but I think
They just didn't know what the hell to do with it.
Design-
Yeah.
this is, hey, we figured out all this stuff, but we can't implement it right yet.
So I'm fine.
So I wonder
with C or D. Like it tried. I think D because it's not like F. They had stuff and maybe. Well, they didn't do anything with this from the looks of from the other looks of Atari, but other game companies I think took some of these designs for their own, like because basically you could call those buttons like shoulder buttons, and then other
Mhm.
companies took that to the next level. Just not Atari who put them on the side.
Yeah, because it reminds me of almost like a Nintendo controller, like those old ones.
Yes,
But at least with Nintendo, they had a lot more functionality with what the buttons can do. I'm just guessing here that, most games, like Noah was saying, probably didn't have any kind of function at all from them because it probably came out a little bit too late in the game of Atari's heyday. So it might have just been wasted technology, honestly.
so D consensus D.
yes.
Okay. Atari 7800. Nope. No. Atari 7800. We have the EU version and the North American version. They look very different. So
Yes.
they look that. Not sure why. The North American version just looks like the previous one, but they made some more. Like they got rid of the numpad and they did a little bit, little tweaks. And the Europe version looks like what Nintendo got into. It looks like a weird NES controller. It's like, basically it's a
Yes.
D-pad.
Yeah, they got rid of the joystick and they got a D-pad and 2 buttons, button 1 and button 2.
I'm inclined to like that more because it's the NES controller. But it's not it's not centered at all. It's like
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with the North American one here. We got, so I guess so compared to the European one, the North American one, they have the joystick, and then button 1 and button 2 are on the sides instead of the front.
yes,
Which
but
I don't know.
I
feel
that's why I think I like the Europe version better.
I feel like
More simplistic.
yeah. Well, also like if I'm playing with a joystick, I'm gonna have to reach around the back of it where the cord is and press those buttons.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, all right.
What?
So look, we can't spend we can't spend so much time analyzing everything. So we got many controllers to go here.
Welcome to the
You don't want this
podcast,
to be
everybody.
You don't want this to be a 6-hour part?
No, I don't want this to be a 6-hour part. So I'm thinking, my gut opinion, and you guys can debate me on this, the EU version should be C, and then the NA version D, along with it, like with its 5200 brother.
Nope, I agree.
I agree with
Like
that, yes.
I don't know how the Europeans got a better controller from them, and then I guess Atari decided that they're gonna tank themselves and then kill their whole company with whatever the hell I'm looking at with the Jaguar controller.
Oh, I need to pull this up. Hold on, Atari Jaguar.
Yeah,
Not
no,
the car.
nope, it's definitely not a not a.
Well, that's a whole. Okay, that's a lot different than I was picturing.
Well,
Ooh, 64-bit.
console-wise.
What's their obsession with the numpad? Like, what's their obsession? That's what those middle dots are. It's the numpad again.
Right.
What is their obsession with, like, you're going to play your video games and do your taxes? Like, what? No, I'm not. I'm not crunching the numbers on my Atari Jaguar.
Number games. There could have been number games.
And what?
Maybe a math game.
Yeah, I don't think it requires a whole numpad.
Oh.
I guess we'll have to look into that. I'm actually very curious at this point.
No.
So they got the D-pad.
Yes, they have the pause and the option button in the center, which is kind of that was the first time I think somebody really did the pause and option button, because I think it's very staple nowadays. I believe Xbox and PlayStation both have that.
Well, I think NES is probably before, because I feel like Jaguar and like the Super Nintendo, I think, are very close to each other. Actually, this might be more towards.
Oh no! So I think let me look at what this came out.
Well, the NES definitely came out quite.
I think yes. I think the Atari 7800 and the NES probably around the same time frame. I bet you the Jaguar came out. It's one. It's
93.
like yeah. So I think was that Super Nintendo? It's Super Nintendo. Then.
Yeah, it's past because the Super Nintendo came out in 91.
So the Super Famicom came out in 1990, and then the North American 1991. So yeah.
Okay.
So basically, then, that's interesting. Well, I guess the Super Nintendo, Nintendo had they went away from the. Well, we'll get to Nintendo. Let's not jump with the gun. Not to Nintendo yet. So it's a more modern look. It's just the button layout there. Like, how are you supposed to? I guess you're holding it in your palm, but then you're like kind of.
Well, is there grips on the back of this? Like, no, there's not. Well, no, wait, there.
Hear me out. Is this a better controller if you get rid of the numpad and just cut that in half?
Yes.
Because then it's just like a Super Nintendo controller, but with 3 buttons instead of 4.
Why do they need a numpad?
I don't know what the obsession with the numpad.
Looked at the games.
Yeah.
I just looked at the list. I can't figure it out either. I have no idea why this stuff is. It kind of makes no sense at this point.
They just listen. Gotta do math. Numpad is D or numpad's D. Anything with numpad's a D? Is that what we're deciding?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair. I kind of wonder if you could almost do custom like layouts.
Maybe. So that's why I'm like putting it like first in D, because like at least.
I mean the games though that you can actually play on it, like it's actually seemed pretty ahead of its time too.
And then how well
did it sell? Is that what you're getting at?
Oh, how well did that work out for Atari with all these great games that came out?
Well, I think that was kind of the beginning of the so-called 3D graphic games. Besides, like obviously, like computer-wise, like you already had like games in the late 80s and early 90s. But being that a lot of these games came out around like 93, 94, 95, that was kind of like the beginning of that era. So perhaps they're kind of ones that boosted that generation of gaming. It just didn't work out too well for them because just like not to jump up here, but like a Sega Dreamcast were kind of ahead of their time too. That's why it didn't work out as well for them either.
We are definitely they're farther down the list because this is a little bit.
Oh, I know. I see the other 79 controllers that we're gonna talk about.
Don't worry about it. All right. So we'll put them there. Magnavox Odyssey. This doesn't even look like a controller to me. I don't even know what I'm looking at with that. It looks like a little twisty knob, and
It's a
It's
box.
definitely a medical device.
It's a metal.
It definitely has
Wait.
something to do with like electrocuting you for some medical reason.
Okay. This was released in 1972 for context. We're going back 20 years here.
Oh
right? So
my
this is-
gosh! No
so,
wonder.
So this is about the time.
Oh,
where you
that's
guys were growing up.
that's the reset
Oh.
button, and then you
You
have
know
a
why?
and then you can switch to English and horizontal. Okay, yes.
You're playing the original Pong on there.
Oh, so you're twisting
That's
Yes.
that.
so you're doing basically your table tennis.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're turning. Okay.
So then, whether we,
I mean-
whether our thought, and I guess if you get mad, you need to reset. That button's right there on the top that you just slam.
Yeah, it's better than just punching it. So
I can't criticize it too much because this is literally cutting edge technology probably for this time. Like
Oh, 100%.
this was
So
very difficult probably to even design and get out.
we lean
And
towards
I probably
would say
C.
B because it's like
I
with
would,
the
okay,
20.
looking up the games, I would go with B because
Okay.
they had like soccer, you had football, like
Hmm.
it was kind of advanced for what it was. And I'm gonna keep saying those words, advanced or ahead of its time. I would say ahead of its time,
Well,
but
just
definitely for what it was, it seemed pretty advanced.
like till we get the modern, then they just start taking the same controllers and giving a little twist.
Right.
It's these guys who are paving the path. Now we're on to the Magnavox Odyssey 2 controller.
Oh. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me cut you off really quick here.
Yes.
So what you do is you put like a film over the TV, over the screen, and that's where your players
Oh.
are. So that's actually really cool. You'll have to look it up on YouTube here. Actually, I'll just throw this in here.
And maybe I'll throw it in the description. Probably not, but I could.
I almost want to buy one at this point. I'm getting on eBay.
Okay. So for the next one,
Do-
we need a little more context.
Do they
because it's only showing that controller?
Do they install? Do you have to install that? Because this one doesn't even look like it. I guess that's a little. What is happening with this?
So that's only a box with a joystick on it and one button.
Yeah.
On the actual game console itself, which they don't show,
Is it the
there is an
entire?
entire keyboard.
Yes.
Mhm.
And which is the
So-
system itself. I would say we're just talking about
Yes.
the controller portion, not the keyboard.
But does the keyboard count as part of the controller? Because you have to.
In this context, I'd say no. We're talking about this joystick simplistic
Okay.
design, which means I'm leaning towards already. I'm leaning towards D just because I don't think it's adding anything to it. Also, if we're going to include the keyboard, it's just numbers. And we're
Okay,
back to
wait a minute. Now we're back to math. Though we have the plus. You know, you have your addition, your subtraction, multiplication, and division signs.
This
plus
was back
equal.
when they thought because I think a lot of companies were like these games or plus they can be a computer.
Well, actually, funny enough, now I don't know if it's this exact system, but there were actually quite a few like restaurants and bowling alleys and stuff that would run off systems like this, like up until very modern times, and that's how they would do like their screens. You put on the names and stuff like that. It's based off these systems.
Oh, I'm sure I'm
Not
sure
sure if it's
there
this
are.
one for sure,
I'm
but
sure there are
close.
still some like
Right.
this. So I'm
100%.
leaning towards D. Any arguments?
No, we just don't know enough about it in relation to the.
And
Very
also,
messy
it
keyboard.
just doesn't
Well-
like just look at that controller by itself. It doesn't look very.
It's
just-
boring.
Also, the photo on Wikipedia of it, if you zoom in, you can see crud.
Oh yeah, no, I see. Yeah, because it's sunken in, so like stuff would just get
Oh,
your
yeah.
gamer goop would just get in there.
Gamer
that is
goop.
It's
That's
don't
both
say
words you can
gamer
use.
goop.
What are you-
Don't say gamer goop.
What are you talking about? All right,
Don't say that.
don't worry. I think we're back to numpads. We're on the television's controller.
Ooh, there we go.
Oh no.
No,
Okay, this
that's not. Oh, that yeah.
1979.
This is just a TV remote. This is a TV remote with. Is that a D-pad type thing?
It's got a
Oh, and
numpad
this
again.
was competing with the Atari 2600.
Oh. Ew. Well,
So-
I think people like the joystick more.
It'd be easier
doesn't-
to use.
Yes,
Much easier.
because
to
there's a pressure pad, I think, at the bottom.
That's kind of what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah,
I
looks like
think
it, yeah.
I think so. Like I feel like that you would probably tip it one way and then tip it like
D for me. This is not a good design.
Well, that's where we'll put all our
Yeah,
numpads.
I'd have to agree as well.
And then
Well, to me, it just
Yeah.
looks like you're basically your normal 70s, 80s model of a keypad for an alarm system.
Yep.
That's,
Yeah.
you know, there's nothing unique about it. There's Zetter and all the numbers. I mean, what's,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Hey,
And well, also the thing's very thin. I can imagine being able very easily to break this.
Mm-hmm.
that's a problem I think of a lot of these early controllers we get to. Speaking of more numbers, ColecoVision
Ooh, ColecoVision.
took the Intellivision controller and they just kinda, because I think isn't it just
They raised the knob.
and moved it to the other
Yes.
side, yes, and then still got that
It's very
numpad.
Very unique.
Still D. I'm sorry. This is just
You know what? They stole
just
design
same-
and they ran with it. Just give them a D.
I think we can move
Yeah,
them up
it's
like maybe
identical.
like we'll put them higher than the Magnavox, but still look at all these numpads. Look at all these numpads up there.
It's just no. I mean, and also this is more recent. I think they're almost 79. This is 82. They had 3 years to do something different. They didn't. No, it's D.
All right, we are on to controller. I never even heard about the Vectrex controller.
Oh, what is this?
It looks interesting.
Oh,
What the hell even is this?
Made
It
in
looks
Hong Kong.
it looks like a knockoff Super Nintendo controller.
And all in all, it almost looks like an old arcade machine altogether.
Possibly.
That's interesting.
I don't like how small the joystick is, and I don't like the look of the buttons.
Okay, I think
Well,
we're
see, this
looking
is
at that one,
now think
yes.
about this though. This is like literal buttons from like an arcade machine, or like the shooters, and it's just a
Yeah.
lot smaller version.
So I wonder if that's what mainly
So
this
I'm
was meant
curious
for.
what kind of games are
I would probably lean towards C, putting that with the EU 7800,
Okay, I don't know.
because how would you
For the games that it has though?
Oh, is there no what? Well, are we going off control? We're going off.
See, we're going with controller, but now we have to think about in relation to the games that we're going to be able to play too, in my opinion.
I guess also, how are you holding this? Because like, I guess you're.
Oh, you're setting it
I
down.
think you're
You're
probably.
setting it down
I think you're
100%.
setting it down,
Yeah.
using it like some of the modern, like how people use for their fighter games.
Right, and this is kind of like the old, it's called Solar Quest, which is kind of like Galaga, or what's that other one? It's like Asteroids or something like that.
So then maybe I'm not leaning towards C. I might be going back down the. I could be going back down the numpad D.
Ooh, the European version's blue.
We're
That's
not-
fancy.
We don't got that. We got this.
It's just the
I
same
do
exact
like
controller.
it for. I do like what it is for the games that you can play on it, but because it's still not really like that advanced, it's not really doing a whole lot for you. It's literally just an arcade machine controller. I would just be found with D.
Yeah.
Do we put it where we saying high D?
I mean,
low
I would
D?
say maybe
mid?
higher than middle.
Okay,
'Cause it's
Yeah,
still
I
pretty
would
cool
maybe
for
put
what
it,
the
put
kind
them
of
ab-
games,
put
you
them
know.
above
Yeah.
put them above the numpad joysticks, but not above like an
Or it's-
actual. There we go. That's
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
right in there, and we can always go back. Speaking of phallic, that no one said, we're back to another big long
What?
joystick of a Casio
oh.
PV 1000.
PV.
I think it's literally just a joystick with a button on
Right.
top.
No, it's got
Oh,
two buttons behind it.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, so this
Yeah.
could also be for like fighter jet type game.
Yes, it's got select and start behind it. I almost wonder if there's another. No, that might just be design, actually.
I think that white garage door opener button is definitely a button.
It's a white
Yes.
garage door.
It's a garage door button.
Yeah, it just opens your garage door throughout it. Oh, the back of the box. I see the box of the Casio and it has like some of the games on it. I could see that this it would work. Basically, like a lot of side scrollers, and looks like there is
Yeah.
like some flying stuff. So yeah, I would say like the joystick ones to me it's gonna be like right with the 26 Atari 2600. Like it's very similar in design. It adds a little bit more with the buttons. And the fact that the one button you need to push is on top of it.
Hey,
So
that's got to be for firing, right?
So you don't have to like move. You don't have to like. You basically only need one. You have one. You have a free hand. Then you just need the.
That's true. You could do so many things with the other hand.
Yeah, you could be eating while you're doing this.
Yeah.
Getting
Oh
all
my
your
god,
gamer
that's
crud
true.
in there.
So maybe this is higher than Atari 2600 because like you combine the two.
I can see that. I can see that.
I think so. Yeah, it's simple, but it's not too simple.
No, I think
I like it.
Now next we got the. I guess we can just combine these because they're pretty. Well, there's a bit of a change. I guess we'll talk about the Famicom controller and the NES controller. I think the NES just kind of refines the Famicom one and makes it more.
Is the Famicom Nintendo?
Yes.
Was that the original?
That's the original. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's also what they called it in. It's what they called it because you have look at the Super. You have the Super Famicom. You have the Super Nintendo, and they're the exact same controller.
Okay.
It's just what they called. It's just what they called it in, Japan.
Gotcha. Actually, I do like the colors though. Those are pretty cool.
Yes. I would give this a step down from whatever we're going to give to NES because I think the harsh criticism of this one is the wire comes out of the side of it. So if you're trying to hold either side of it with your thumbs, your left hand's always going to go around that wire.
Yes, and they're already interesting controllers to hold because they're square, and so you're like always having a corner dig into your the side of your hand. I remember trying to hold these as a kid, and I'm like, why square? Why was square the idea? But I do think Nintendo, finally figured out where controllers needed. Well, I say that they definitely lost the script here once we go further with Nintendo. But
just a little bit.
They I think most other companies then looked at Nintendo as like the idea to follow. So I do agree with you. So I would say maybe NES. They're like B. I'm thinking B and then C maybe for the Famicom because that side wire.
Yes, I think I would agree with that.
So yeah,
and just for some random knowledge, Famicom standard for Family Computer.
Yes.
So that was kind of that's cool.
And maybe
it's kind of nice to learn where it came from.
We'll just put that there. We go. Right at the top, and then I guess these can just. It doesn't really matter. That one's in the back. Look at the Atari 7800. Look at that. Look at that wire coming out the back there.
They were ahead of their time.
The NES Dogbone. NES Dogbone. What is this? I didn't realize. I didn't even know they came out. I didn't even know they came up with something. I know the next one, the NES Advantage, because that showed up in the Wiz. What you know?
I think. Oh, it's got to be a late generation for the NES. It has to be. Because there's no way that was the original.
No, because it's not. Because it's the Super Nintendo. It's like it's in between this. It's in between. Like that's essentially what the Super Nintendo. Yeah. They just don't have as many buttons.
Right.
Came out in 1991, so it actually came out for the NES after the Super Nintendo came out. So probably was a reaction of how people like the Super Nintendo controller, and they released this for the NES for people who are still doing this.
Because they got rid of the square.
Another big thing that's I think a lot less noticeable, and I think was one of the critiques I had for the original NES controller, is that A and B on the right hand of the controller, it goes inverse of how you read. So usually you think it would go A and B left to right. It goes B to A, I think it was. Or whatever. I think. Oh, I might have said that wrong.
I'll be honest with you. I never really thought about that with Nintendo because they just put buttons everywhere once you get to the other controller.
It's just so random, in my opinion. Yeah. We'll really talk about random once we get to a little N60.
I don't know what your problem is with that controller.
Oh, I loved it back in the day, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. I would say Dogbone. It took the NES and it combined it with the. It's probably just.
That might even be A tier.
Yeah, because it's taking because I'm going to argue.
Just took that to a whole other level.
Yeah, and I'm kind of then that's the thing we're going to discuss with Super Nintendo, that it's going to be an A tier
100%
controller. NES.
Just throw it in right now and skip it.
Yeah. I think we can agree. Super Nintendo controller and like Super Famicom, they're the same, pretty much.
Yep.
100%.
No,
We just didn't get cool colors. We just got, which I would argue that the purple they use for the Super Nintendo controller is fine colors. Those still hold to this day.
Mhm.
So I think
Nope,
Nintendo
I
kind of
love my
nailed
Super Nintendo right here.
their entry into gaming pretty well with their controllers. The NES Advantage, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's in the movie The Wiz with like, I think it's The Wiz, right? I don't know if you guys, it's like a 90s movie where 3 kids are traveling the country and they go to like a Nintendo competition, like a Mario thing, and this kid it's the whole thing. It's all basically a whole Nintendo advertisement for different Nintendo products.
That's about
Like
right.
the Power Glove. Where's the Power Glove? This
And where's
control.
the hunting pistol?
I guess they
rifle,
don't. I
whatever
guess
they
they don't
call it.
consider those.
Oh, no, it was a controller. I don't care what they say.
Well, it's not. Listen, there were some disagreements, I would think, with you. I think most people. I would argue the NES Advantage actually looks like what a lot of people use now for their fighter games.
Hold on, I need to look at this.
Like it looks like one of those things you just sit on. Like you sit on a desk, and they use to play your. Like for them, like I don't even know what the name. Like it basically looks like an arcade. Like you took what you find at the arcade and you have it now in your house. I don't know what game. I don't know what games you're using it for the NES. I guess maybe like the boxing game that was wasn't that in NES? And they made.
Yeah.
I bet you that would be really good for it.
Well, honestly, and then even I don't know, even like that newspaper delivery boy one. Because there was a lot of like side scroller type games too, and I could see it being used for that. Because you have jump, you have kick, and stuff like that. So I could see it working out really well.
I'm arguing just because it doesn't do anything bad. I think it does what it's supposed to do.
I think that's fine.
Here, there is a cool feature it has. So one of the buttons is slow motion, which actually it doesn't work on all the games.
That makes it.
It'll actually slow the game down, and you can play it at a slower pace.
That's cheating, but it's cool. Put that right.
Yeah, I definitely did that back in the day.
What? So the Virtual Boy was definitely their attempt to figure it. Like they started to get what they get with their later controllers. But what the hell is happening? It looks like it's such a deformed.
It's
little
alienistic. It's a little odd.
Oh, this is
this
also
whole
VR.
Yeah, this whole thing. Like I think the controller, and you're supposed to hold this while you're in VR. I don't. 2 D-pads. I don't like that.
No, this is really bad.
But let me throw this out there. If you're thinking about in the context of playing VR, though, at least without having to see the controller, you know where everything is.
I don't.
Just equal on both sides.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm having problems with this. I think I'd be touching stuff, and I just what am I gonna do with both those D-pads?
You're just gonna be angry the whole time you're playing.
Yeah,
I feel like those the handles are too long, and it might so long that your thumbs might not be able to reach everything.
Well, don't worry, Nintendo's got you here in a second. I don't think it's an F. I think it's just D.
No, I think it's a D because it's not a complete butcher.
Maybe ahead of those, and maybe there. We'll just put them at probably the front. Maybe. Stop it.
Now my favorite controller,
the N64 controller, which you would think, what is the point of the 2 things on the side? Like you're never holding it like that.
The bumpers.
I've never had one of these, so I don't know.
It's
if I remember right, there's a couple games you actually like hold it. Just like you would like on a modern controller, like you can do a button combo.
Yeah, I've never.
So it made it even harder to use.
I've never held it the other way. I've always held it like my one hand holding it in the middle.
Right. Exactly.
And then you have one hand resting on that right side.
Because you're using the thumbstick.
And then the D-pad's just dead to me.
So now let me throw this at you too. This was like the first controller that you can actually have the vibration pack.
Yes.
So that alone brought it, in my opinion, at least to A. I wouldn't say S tier because of the fact that the ergonomics is a little bit off.
I would, but then
a little bit.
Yes, and then the Z button on the back. The fact that it has a back button.
Right. Yes.
What?
Oh yeah, it has a
Star
back button.
Fox.
Oh yeah, it has a back button in the back. That was
This is terrible.
no. Well, who ever used it? This thing, yes, on the outlook of it, yes, it looks terrible. And Nintendo got high and made this controller, but it worked. Like I remember playing Zelda. The
Oh yeah.
Well, I think all these controllers can work. It's just a matter of could it have been better?
Well, it definitely probably. Well, listen, Nintendo doesn't know what the hell they're doing with controllers. They
So picture this though. Noah, look up the N64 clear controller. And they even had like the clear like green and blue ones, and then you had the vibration pack in the back and a memory pack that you could put in the back to save your games.
I have a jungle green system and controller on display behind me.
Dude, yes.
I mean,
so they were okay. So I think they wanted to get a little bit too futuristic to try to like get people's attention. I think that's really what it's about. But come on, GoldenEye 007, Star Fox, like
Super Smash Brothers.
Those games, it's 100% Mario 64, Mario Party, all those good ones. It was, in my opinion, because you weren't really using every single button for every game. But for the games, like you would use the Z button on the back, like Star Fox, where you're actually
Pokemon Snap.
Nerd. So anyway, just I don't know.
I
would definitely say A tier.
I think
still,
it's
just because
A.
of the fact. Yeah, it's not S. I wish it was. In fact, I even bought a blue N64 controller for PC so I could play different ROMs with it. But...
Now, no, I know you're out of this because how do you think you hold the N64 controller?
I have no clue. It looks completely.
So basically, you hold in your left hand the central part, and you rest your finger underneath on. You rest the thumb on the D-pad or on the thumbstick, and you rest your finger on the Z, a button on the back, and then your right hand takes the right side of the controller, and then you have those. But then you have your thumb use the. Basically, your thumbs and one finger are doing all the work, and then that's it. That left side, that's dead. You don't need to go over there.
Picture yourself being a little kid with small hands. You're trying to hold a controller that's literally made for adults too. It's so much more tough.
And then
I think this controller for me is a B tier. Okay, is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If
it's okay
they didn't have some of the innovation of it, it would definitely be way lower than that. I think it probably, because it was on such an iconic console, probably would go up to an A tier. But if this console was not as successful as it was, this would be regarded as a horrible controller.
Let me sell you on something that still exists from this controller in modern Nintendo controllers. Stick drift.
That's true.
Yes.
This started the stick drift, and Nintendo has not learned from that at all, because they keep making the games that really make, like, especially Mario parties, where you're like hammering that stick, and then now you have Link wandering around Breath of the Wild, like he's supposed to be running straight, and he just starts drifting at an angle because he can't run straight anymore.
Right.
GameCube. Arguments S. Like I just that's my opinion on this. This has
that's just it. There's no.
This is such an iconic controller. I mean, that's why people still want to use it for Smash Brothers. Like that's why Nintendo went back and made it, and that's why they're bringing it back again for the GameCube Online for the Switch 2. It's such now listen, looking at it, the button layout makes no sense whatsoever.
It looks like a little kid's toy when you really think about it.
How dare you?
This is like what you give your little like toddler brother or sister when you want them to think they're playing a game and they're not.
I mean,
and then they can chew on it and then tear out the cord and nothing happens to it.
At least it's better to hold.
Yes, I would say. Yeah, if we're giving the 64 an A tier, this is definitely above the 64.
Okay, see, look,
it's organized.
I won't do S. And then you got its
Yeah.
then you got its chunky brother, the first wireless controller. So keep that in mind. You got a wired friend now. The GameCube,
God.
Wavebird. Because he was wireless, he fat. He a big,
Yes.
big boy. He basically takes what was
You need
nice
room for that battery.
about holding that controller and does not make it very nice to hold, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too big. I'd probably give it a step below, but I mean, it's still the same controller.
Yeah, and I think that what's good about this is that it started the wireless thing. Like most
Yeah.
controllers,
Yeah.
then switch back to that. So, what are your thoughts with A, B?
I'd say B on that one.
Yeah, I'd say B. I was thinking about maybe A just because it does start wireless, but
Yeah, I would
It's
say
fine
just
at
too
B.
chunk. Like it top of B, like it's chunky. We're really gonna tick off some people.
Yeah, it's a chunky boy.
The Wiimote
um,
just by itself, not with the nunchuck, just the Wiimote alone. Then we can discuss the nunchuck as well.
um,
The one-handedness made it a pleasure to use.
yes, it worked surprisingly well for what you did on the Wii.
Yes, especially like most of the games you would use this for. Like,
Yes,
typically you're taking it and you're turning it to the side, and you're like using it that way. I think for Super Mario Galaxy, it had you keep it just like normal controller, like holding it like a normal Wiimote and not using the nunchuck.
Well, now can we have a moment of silence for the thousands of broken TV screens because of this remote?
oh,
Wear the
God,
strap. I don't understand what the problem
I
was.
wore the strap.
And you still broke a TV?
I didn't. I never broke a TV, but one flew off and hit the TV and it scared the hell out of me once.
He's like, no, I'm gonna be one of the
Yes, dude.
stories. They're gonna tell stories about me on the internet.
No. The strap was on. It was around my wrist, and I was bowling, and I launched it forward, and it came out of my hand. I go, oh, at least I have the strap on. I felt the thing unclick and go off my hand.
Yeah, well,
But it was such a hard throw too. Like it was just
Yes, it
launched.
was.
you got
Like you were trying to get a strike. There's no question about it.
You're really gonna go through that TV. What the Wiimote does that current controllers, like I think of like Sony with the PlayStation 5, does is sound starting to come from the controller, like certain sounds.
Right.
It has the speaker in there. Doesn't really do much for me. I don't think it's higher than any of Nintendo's controllers we have on the list already. I don't think
I would say probably A tier because of the fact that it was really advanced in the having like the accelerometer, infrared tracking.
Would you put nunchuck
that
right?
That is also
I honestly, I think you could just keep the nunchuck with it. Like it's kind of
right.
The same controller.
Yeah. And then we go back to the Wii Classic controller and the Wii Classic Controller Pro. So the Wii Classic controller is just literally it's the Super Nintendo one with like bigger, like with joysticks added now. Like I don't like the problem is it's flat. Like the flatness doesn't do anything.
It feels very Japanese-esque, like to more of a modern design for their games.
Well, that's why I think the Pro, and that makes sense. Maybe like this one was made more for the Classic was made, the regular one was made more for maybe their audience in Japan, and the Classic Controller Pro, they're like, you guys love those Xbox controllers? Well, we got something similar.
Well, and think about this too. On average, men and women, their body size is a lot smaller than American, like their hands and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's a lot easier to use for them with that style of controller too than it is for us.
I would be fine with C for that one, and Wii Classic Controller
Mm-hmm.
Pro maybe B.
Yeah. I mean,
top B, or maybe behind the.
Like, I mean, they're both fine controllers. I just feel like it defeats the purpose of the Wii in general because it was supposed to be the motion control, and now you're buying a controller to not do the motion control. It just
yes.
It's kind of defeating the purpose of the concept to begin with.
Well, I think
lazy gamers.
Yes.
Version.
Well, I think why these controllers exist is because you had such an extensive backlog on the Wii, and going to the next system here, that's where like there's some games that just have died on the Wii U, like they're remakes and remasters. They just, unless you have a Wii U, you are not playing it. So I think that's why like these controllers exist. Speaking of the Wii U, where HD Wind Waker will forever rest, and because they're just bringing back regular Wind Waker for the Switch 2 for some reason, even though they have the HD remake that they don't want me to have. That's a side tangent. Sorry. Wii U Gamepad. It's F, right? This thing's so stupid.
It's terrible. It's a terrible controller.
Like, why would they think that I would ever want to hold this in my... Because basically they're just saying, you're going to use the Wiimote. You're using the Wiimote still, but hey, you could also use the Gamepad. No. I guess, I don't know if I can put F because but the thing is, no one took this concept. Well, I guess Nintendo did with their hand.
Switch. But it's a Switch before a Switch.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were trying to go that route and it did not work.
But I think in terms of the controller, it's terrible. It's like this is
100%.
It's just
it's a terrible controller.
F class.
First F.
Get the hell out of here.
Probably won't be the last. There'll be
this. Okay, no, is it just me or is this list not moving at all? Like there's so many controllers left.
No, don't worry.
There's a
good.
lot.
We're good.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. Because I think once we get to like Sony and Xbox, we'll be able to kind of fly right through them. Especially some of these ones.
Into those very much.
No, Wii U Pro controller. It's wireless. It's essential for a lot of the games that live on the Wii U that can't use the gamepad for. Basically takes the best of like a lot of Nintendo's controllers and combines it into one. The Switch Pro controller is literally just this, but they modified it slightly, so they took it. I think the only thing that sucks is the position of those buttons, because like it's on the bottom and your thumb doesn't naturally that's not naturally where your fingers go to when you're holding a controller. Yeah. Which their Switch Pro controller fixes and puts it back on the top. So I would say it's probably with its brother there.
Yeah.
Like probably wireless, so we'll move it up. The Joy-Cons and the single Joy-Con.
Too.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, stick drift. I'll be honest, when I play my Switch, like I play Breath of the Wild, and I play Tears of the Kingdom, when I play Pokemon, I never played that really docked. I always played it with the console in my hand, holding either side of it. It just felt
same here.
Especially because like Pokemon to me, I guess I could have played Zelda on it. Zelda would have felt right, but the controller just didn't feel right. Holding just a single one, holding the two sticks, if I'm playing like that, and two, and then Pokemon always felt like I should be handheld because that's how it's always been.
Right.
But I think it for what it is and what they did with it, they took what people liked with the Wiimote and they made it work. And the fact that you can just slide that on to your friends and connect to it so then you can all play a game on their Switch is very nice. You don't have to go through the whole syncing battle of, hang on, hold that button, hold the button in the controller, do this, do that.
Yep.
You just go dock it, and it's a satisfying click as you put that on there, which that's why I'm like, Nintendo, you're getting rid of your thing with the Switch 2, with the click, with the magnetic stuff. It better still click.
This man's gonna be angry.
I'm gonna be angry. So I think it's not. I think it's A. It's not S tier. It's not an S tier controller.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's close to a B just because of stick drift, but it's still an A.
Yeah, so we'll probably put it right in between. Probably before the.
Yeah.
What about the single Joy-Con? It's probably like right by it still. It's the same thing. You're holding it's kind of similar to the Super Nintendo controller. Like it's still doing its job. And the Switch Pro controller is taking the basically Nintendo's Wii Pro controllers, and then I think they perfected it at this point, and now this is like their go-to controller. I think it's fine. I think it's
it's a controller.
I know they kind of
That
you
is.
reach a point and you just kind of like so I
I kind of put it with the Wii
just the Wii
U Pro
the
controller.
Pro
'Cause it's basically the
controllers.
same
Yeah.
thing.
I put
It's
top
just-
of B. It kind of does what it needs to for that. Okay, now we got some. We're getting to some weird ones here that we need to fly through to get the PlayStation.
Oh my
TurboGrafx
god.
X16 looks definitely like one of those D tier controllers that we've seen.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Oops, we're just gonna throw it out. We're gonna throw it in there. And then the Neo Geo AES actually looks more like what we were talking about with NES Advantage. So I wonder if they came out around the same time. It's where it's one of those ones where you set down and you're using it like that for an arcade type, like taking basically arcade games home. It looks similar to.
It did come out in 1990, so I think you're right.
So I would,
Yeah.
but I don't think it had the games that came out with the Super Nintendo.
No.
Well, remember, a lot of the Nintendo games were dedicated Nintendo games. They contract wise, licensing wise, they couldn't even use another system they wanted to.
So I think it's fine. It's
Yeah.
B or I think just
I
high.
would throw it C because we
C.
don't have enough in C yet.
No, we don't have nothing to see.
Yeah,
And then
let's make it equal.
the Neo Geo Advantage, this looks like it looks similar to what else do we have that's similar to that with the 4-button? It's similar to the Vectrex where it's like a 4 buttons. You got that joystick. So I'm inclined to throw it right by its Vectrex brother, where it just
Yes.
Works for me.
why do we
that.
want to put buttons in a line?
I don't know.
Hey, at least we
Make
don't
it
have
difficult to reach.
numpads right now. The
true.
Neo Geo CD, which looks like a knockoff Super Nintendo controller.
This is what you basically find when you buy the knockoff, like, hey, there's 300 old system games and this one thing you plug into your TV. This is the kind of controller that comes with it.
Also, is that a sunken in joystick again that people are like?
It kind of looks like it. Let's see if we get a better angle.
Let me just.
Man, let me look here.
It has.
is.
Yeah. So you get all that gamer gunk.
So it's
Ugh.
weird though. So do you guys see like the little nodule at the top of the joystick, and then you have
Yes.
Yeah.
like the arrows and stuff? I wonder if you could twist that itself.
That's kind of because it seems weird that the arrows are on there.
That's weird. Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm curious.
it's probably D. Just in
Yeah,
there. It's
D works for me. It's
high D. Like
It's trying to be more than what it
Yeah.
is. And it should just go fuck off.
Then
Yeah, whatever. It's a
Yeah.
high D. It's
high D. Now the Philips CDI.
Oh.
This.
That's
Oh my gosh.
yeah, my TV remote.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, this is an expensive system.
Yeah, wow. No one bought it.
No one listen.
It was
No one did
DVD
buy it.
disc.
It and its brother, the CDI Spoon, both are just kind of, they're probably
hell is
they're
this?
just listen. They're ahead of its time. Philips thought they
Yeah.
could get in on the gaming
Oh.
market.
It was actually built between Philips and Sony. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
this is where Sony got in on the game. Yeah, this was their initial run at it, and then Philips.
is their
Yeah,
PlayStation
Philips showed them.
run before.
We just listen. We could just put these. Just put
just
them.
move
Yeah,
them.
just
Bye.
Yeah, that's enough of
And
that.
then Philips was like, "What if we copied Nintendo? What if we copied their button layout?" But oh my! I just look at their touchpad. It looks like that's such a weird.
Yeah.
Like it's not even similar to the Super Nintendo because it's like a weird shape. Like the circle goes. You have circle on top and circle on the bottom. So how would you hold that? Like, would you hold it with your? How would you?
Every time you think you have it right side up, you think it's upside down.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
I don't
that's
know
the
which
problem
way
with
is that. Which way am I holding that?
There is a cool feature on this controller. You can screw something into the center of it to make it a joystick.
Oh, that actually is pretty unique then.
Yeah, if you look at the Philips, I believe it's the
Oh.
whatever the CDI touchpad.
Yes.
There's a opening in the bottom of the D-pad or in the middle of it where you can put in a joystick. That is pretty clever.
I think that alone moves that to C, and then
100%.
its 3-button
100%.
pad is down by the Neo Geo CD, where it's just trying to be.
You know, I've never even heard of this system though before until now.
Oh, the Philip, I'm pretty sure it sells for pretty good money on eBay.
Oh, I bet it goes for crazy money now. But I've just never heard of it before. I had no idea Philips made a console before.
Yeah, the CDI system, it's definitely, yeah, 2,000. Like, what's that saying? $2,000. Yeah, you can get one for $228. Yeah, but the game.
But the question is it worth it?
No, it's not. It's just a collector piece. PlayStation controller, the original one. It started. It worked.
I would say that's a C at the moment because it doesn't have the analogs yet.
The analogs,
it did feel good in the hands though.
Yes, like the
angle of the grips like felt nice.
Let me see. Do I have one? I have the PlayStation 1 controller right here.
Did the analogs come with the PS2 and then they went back and made the dual analogs in the DualShock for the PS1? Is that how that system worked?
Yes.
I think so.
I think that's pretty close.
So I think,
unless it was like really late in the game after the
PlayStation came
out.
I'm thinking, I know, because I feel like the people were very impressed with like the analogs. So I think the original one, trying to like maneuver in some of those original PlayStation games just with that D-pad.
Yeah,
kind of hard, but I do think you're right. It does set the groundwork for Sony. So I would say B is probably appropriate. We're putting it ahead of Nintendo. We're putting it.
Being stick it right in the middle there.
Like
it'd be close. You could let it touch.
Like probably right there. Then I think we skip the dual analog and DualShock for PS1 and go the PS2 DualShock 2. So that, because then I think
it's the same exact controller.
They are the same exact.
It's like playing iPhone. The next generation, they're all the same.
I will say I have both an original PS1 and PS2 DualShock controller right here. The only difference really is that the PS1 cord is way beefier, where the PS2 controller is a lot thinner. The cord on it. And you can tell the insulation on the wire is actually a lot higher quality on the PS2 controller, but that's, nor here nor there.
I do think I think this layout of the two joysticks sets the groundworks, I think, for a lot of controllers to come. Most people don't stick with this format. I think this is what Sony decided worked for them. Everyone else kind of went more for the upper left, bottom right approach, which is how like Nintendo did with the GameCube, and like all these Pro controllers are similar. And I think all the knockoff controllers are like upper left, bottom right. So I would say it's probably, I would say the DualShock 2 is probably A tier. I hate saying this. I don't. These necessarily aren't my favorite controllers. But I know people loved it. You could click on them.
Yeah.
One thing I will give the PS2 controller. It is an incredibly durable controller. I still use my default PS2 controller from 2002.
Still uses it for OCRP.
Well, I wish I could, be honest
with you.
It's a great controller.
You could probably buy a cable that would make it work. I bet you.
Oh god.
It is really I mean, the PS2 in general. I still have my original. It sits right here. I play it probably once every couple weeks. It survived through so much horrible things I did to it, which is keep it on for 12 days in a row at one point.
Jeez.
And I don't know, just high quality. I would say A tier at least, yes.
Yeah, I would say A tier. It's probably higher than the game. Like, it's probably going to be one of the highest A tier. And then we can probably just throw its PS Brothers somewhere randomly.
Yep.
In here, and they're doing the job. You don't get to be ahead of that, though.
Let me find my PS3
controller. The PS3 DualShock 3. I think if we're doing that, the fact that it's wireless now, and I don't think it really changes much of anything. I think if anything, it adds more shoulder buttons. Right? Is that what?
It didn't do anything really. Hold on, let me go grab mine.
I don't think it changes much all besides being wireless and
It was doing
rechargeable.
in-depth investigation.
No, I'm holding them right now.
Ooh.
So I'm just gonna put it there now in top of A.
Yeah, they're literally. I think the only thing that changes with them is that I think there's might be a little bit more angle for grip on the PS3 controller, and you lose the weight from the wire, so it's a lot more comfortable.
Yes.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
And then I think the PS4 controller, DualShock 4, keeps most of the same things again, but instead of they get rid of the start, don't they get rid of this? They get rid of those that start select button, and they now have the touchpad.
They have the touchpad. They can play the sound through. You can actually plug in your headphones through the middle of it now. They had the share button and option button. They have a light on the back of it, so whatever game you play, the light will actually change to a theme for the game. Like, for example, when I was playing Red Dead on this, it will turn to a dark red light instead of the blue light that it usually has. For Madden, it doesn't do anything because no one puts any effort into those games.
Wow, he's taking
for Ghost of Tsushima, it turns into a gray color, and if you activate certain things in that game, it actually will change it to other colors.
How much does Sony pay you before this?
I'm just telling you what I've noticed about it. The stickers are pretty good.
Are you gonna
argue S tier?
Well, yeah, is this S tier for you? Like, is this take?
I would say so. Another thing it does is and this is something that is a good feature from the Xbox 360 controller, is that it makes the handles longer and out angled more a little bit. So there's even better grippage on the PS4 controller.
Less risk of gamer goop getting interfering. Yeah.
And it's just very good controller.
What are your thoughts about the sex toys of the PS Move and PSVR?
They can go to hell.
Just put those right down there.
They were so expensive too.
Yeah.
When they came out,
they're still expensive. I can find those at garage sales and resell them for decent money. Still, they still sell stupid. I don't like admitting it, but I think what the PS5 DualSense does with the adaptive triggers and being able to do that's S tier in my opinion. Like, I think overall it's a great controller. It's not my favorite controller. Like, I still don't like how it holds in my hand, but like being able to, like, as Spider-Man, trying to like have to actually put some pressure down to do something.
Yeah.
Is a good feeling, and like it feels just like a good experience using. I don't necessarily
they refined a lot of it. Yeah.
I don't necessarily still like that middle, like having just one central thing in the middle, like that whole. I've accidentally clicked that a bunch of times, and it's like, nope, no.
They refined it a lot in the PS5. The one problem the 4 had was the plug for charging it was it was in a low spot, and it was very if you set it down, it actually put a lot of force on that plug, and you could potentially break it. What the 5 does here is it goes to, I think it's a USB 3.0, and it's higher, so when you set it down, the table or whatever you set it on doesn't push back up on it and loosen that plug. The triggers are really high quality on this. They actually can, like I said, there's force in them. They added the PlayStation button in the center, the home button there, instead of having, or they made it look nicer, I should say, than add it. And then they have a little light there, so you can mute and unmute your mic, because the controller has a mic in it now. So
yeah, that's terrible. We should not have controllers in the mic. Oh yeah, okay. Well, wait till we get down to the Xbox version of that, being able to talk about a mic.
Right.
So yeah, I don't think that's a feature you should be trying to sell me on. And I think we can just put the DualSense Edge. It just takes what's good about the PS5.
Yeah,
I don't like the color scheme of that. I think the all white looks way better than whatever they got going on with the black layouts.
Yep.
PSVR 2. I think it's fine for what it is. At least you're holding it better than the fucking Virtual Boy.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have nothing to see.
Yeah, I don't know enough about them to really.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah, I think it's just good middle ground there. Fujitsu FM Towns Marty controller.
What the hell is?
I don't know. It looks like it's a knockoff. It's gonna go right. I think we just put it right with these other ones that all look exactly
Works for me.
the same.
I don't even feel like doing research on that.
What is the Amiga CD30? I don't even know. That's why would you hold it like? Why would you?
No, that
Just put that.
terrible.
Yeah, put that down there.
Just get rid of that.
The Panasonic 3DO. I know this one. It's the same thing where they have this. It all just looks exactly the same. All these controllers right here. What's the fascination with 3 buttons? Like what?
I don't know.
They just started copying each other. That's all that was.
Well, then you got the Casio Loopy. That's a dumb name of a.
Oh, that's fancy. Yeah.
With its 4 buttons, this just looks like once again.
They just try to steal they're trying to make it something the Super Nintendo.
That is like the Super Nintendo colors. Yeah.
Same colors and everything.
Yeah.
But now Apple's getting in on it. The Bandai Apple Pippin.
Mm-hmm.
What even am I looking at with that? This one I need to just Google because I'm just curious. What was I playing?
1995.
Oh, the Pippin, Apple Pippin.
Pippin, baby.
It's a defunct open. It's a defunct open multimedia technology platform designed by Apple Computer.
So it's just an Apple TV from the 90s
that you could play games on. Oh my god,
Right.
what this uses to plug in, I'm pretty sure that cord that I'm seeing is. Oh boy, yeah, no, and that's a. Just so you're clear, that's a ball in the middle. That's a track.
What?
Yeah, that's one of those.
They thought it was a mouse? What?
Yeah, they get a function. I don't know. I'm just gonna put that
They
right
even
there.
made gold ones. They made gold versions.
We'll just put that down there. Sega SG. Back out there, Sega. It's a joystick. I think it might it's probably just gonna go for our other joysticks up here.
Yeah, because it's gonna have the same functionality. So.
And it's got the side buttons. Oh my god, Sega, the Master System. Guys, that's literally just the... Guys, that's just the... It's literally just the NES. Besides, you just don't have a start. I don't think you just have a stop button. Or start select. I think you just have... Why? And it's Sega. Do you think this was the problem? Where you just copied... Oh, I guess those buttons double as the start. Is the start button too? Oh, I don't like that.
A lot of that stuff was just copy paste controllers.
Yeah, but also their pad to the side is the control pad is
I don't think that'd be fun to use. No,
I'm thinking with that bottom of
it's almost like the D-pad, like the modern D-pads on controllers, where you can do multi-directional, but you can't do every direction like a joystick can.
Now, Sega went on. Now they have the Genesis Mega Drive 3-button pad and the Sega Genesis 6-button. What the hell? Why do we need 6 buttons on the control? Why do I need?
Have used the 6-button one, and there's only like 2 or 3 games that you can actually use it with. There was no point.
No.
It's too much. It's too much for one hand.
Too many buttons. Too many buttons.
Yeah. It is all great.
I went not all the way down there. Put you all the way down there. Game you weep. The 3-button pad. I think it's like I said. It's just similar to.
Yeah.
The only difference is that it has Sega's name on it. What is going on with that D-pad though?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I've actually recently played on the Genesis that we still have. Well, my dad has.
I guess it's a normal D-pad. Yeah.
It just feels a little weird, like shape-wise. Like I love the Genesis; that was amazing back in the day. Grew up with it, but it just feels weird in the hands. The angles of it is just a little bit too much.
Well, you think the angles of that one's weird. Let's get at the Sega Saturn North American. They must have thought because they're okay. Look at this. Sega Saturn North American, the Sega Saturn Japanese version. It looks like the Japanese version's more in line with like the Super Nintendo, and then for North America they gave us, I guess, that for bigger hand. I don't know what happened here, Sega.
Oh, they even knew.
it's too chunky.
Like and also the angle is just so
blocky.
weird. Yeah, like what?
Yeah, I feel like holding onto that for a long period of time will just start digging into your hands and make it
Also,
incredibly
they went back
uncomfortable.
to 6 buttons. Why do I need all these buttons right there?
Why not?
Also,
You
that
fit 'em.
D-pad, that D-pad looks very like it's all elevated D-pad. Oh, what is happening with that?
That's odd.
Just put that. Just put that.
Just
down
sneak it down
here.
there. Yeah, that's
there you
fine.
go. And I think the Sega Saturn Japanese one looks better.
It's better, but I don't even think it's out of D still. I think it's just a higher D.
I think the D-pad actually looks better. Yeah, I think it's a higher. Yeah, I think it's just a higher D.
Mhm.
Put that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what they got going on with the 3D controller. They're just
That
a
just
pancake.
F, throw it away.
That
Just throw it
yeah,
away.
I don't-
pancake
yeah,
we're not
looking
gonna go into it.
control.
Just hold a plaque.
And then they really decided to go crazy with the Sega Dreamcast. One, you got the bottom cord, which
Ugh.
already bad. Two, you hit the giant hole in the middle because you can plug stuff into it, like the memory card, which other controllers have, but that wasn't like right in your face
Obnoxiously in your
about it.
face.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
3, it's just
Yeah.
a weird. Why so big? Also, why
It's
you
like
got
a flying bat.
the flying
It's
squirrel,
just-
flying? Yeah,
Just, I'm good.
it's
It's
just
if I'm holding a plaque, just a giant. I don't know, not good.
all right.
Yeah,
Well,
just because of the fact that you could actually use the memory card and stuff. Okay, fine, it's D, but that's as well as it's going.
Sega fans, just know our highest one is the Sega SG-1000. Now, don't hate on us. Just no. Oh God, here we go. We got the play your games on your TV, people. This is Ouya. How do you Ouya? It just looks like a knockoff. So the PlayStation controller. Yeah, just
Mhm.
Steam controller. Oh my God, the Steam controller. That's
Never used it.
It was literally just a stolen Xbox controller, and they changed it up a bit.
yeah. I think it's just down here in D. The Google Stadia. Stadia. That's literally just like an Xbox controller. That's a
Yeah.
Sony one. That's Sony. It's PlayStation controller.
Oh, it's a mix though. They
It's-
definitely
yeah.
they put them together.
Yeah, about to say they pretty much said, let's just rip both of them off.
Right.
Speaking of
If it
ripoff,
works, it works.
then we have the Zebo and the Zebo Rev 2 and the Zebo. Well, we'll save the boomerang because I think we need to discuss whatever the hell the boomerang is.
Yeah, whatever that
I need to
is.
do some more research on that really quickly.
The Zebo just looks like a knockoff. It's essentially the Wii Classic controller. What the hell was the Zebo? Is that just I don't know. We're just gonna put that down there. I think the Zebo Rev 2 is just the Switch Pro controller. Like it's just the Pro controller. Like whoever this is just took Nintendo's Pro controllers
Yeah.
and just kind of. Actually, that's more PlayStation.
Yeah.
I think that's more of a PlayStation controller with the Rev
is.
2. No, you got research on the Zebo Boomerang.
So it was sold by Tectoy in Brazil.
Oh,
Wow.
It actually. Get ready to this. Listen to some of the technology.
Can I
in this and
throw
tell
it?
me if it sounds familiar. It has a D-pad, 2
Mhm.
buttons labeled 1 and 2, and on the top left side it has a home button, a sliding on and off switch with a wrist strap, and it requires 2 AA
Ooh.
batteries to
Oh.
power.
It's
Does
a
that sound familiar?
the bad Wii. It's a
Ooh,
bad
literal
It
Wiimote.
is.
Just gonna.
It is the Wiimote before the Wiimote.
Yeah, but it's
It was
Oh, no, it's
before.
after. Sorry, it's
Oh,
after.
yeah, I
It's
was
gonna say, wait a minute.
2009?
Oh yeah,
I thought
no.
this was in the
Oh,
90s.
oh,
I
we'll
was gonna
put
say,
that.
there's no
Yeah.
way
This is
Nintendo ripped them
15
off.
years old.
Yeah, we'll put that down there. And also, yeah, why would you have the buttons up top? How could you even hold it? Okay, nope, we'll put that.
It was $5. Oh no, sorry. This is the console. Sorry, I thought the controller itself was $500. I was about to have a heart attack. Oh my god.
That's crazy.
I've never heard of actually this Atari controller. The
VCS?
Atari VCS. This was
Huh.
Atari's attempt to make a little bit. I think they just made this for PC use, cross-platform. I guess you could play your favorites on PC or the Atari VCS. Well,
2021?
Yeah, so this is like their. It's basically just an Xbox.
Sorry,
controller.
just go away. Just shut it down already.
It's an Xbox. It's just basically an Xbox. It literally is just an Xbox controller.
It literally what?
What's the difference between it and an Xbox controller besides it's Atari flavored? I think does it hurt? I think it's just Atari. Just listen. You should have stuck with this just with your giant joystick. You would still be at what is the Evercade, and why do I think I just don't even want to? It just looks like nonsense. Nonsense.
It's got a screen?
No, it doesn't.
Or no, wait.
I think it's a start, stop, D-pad, and then the A, B, X, Y. How come that's what we went with? How come that's the buttons we went with? A, B, X, Y. How come was it A, B, C, D?
I don't know. I mean, why is it X, circle, square, and triangle?
I don't know. Because Sony, they couldn't go with the other ones because they was already done.
They're like, oh, they'll never notice.
Well, yeah, I guess. Because they couldn't do numbers. Nintendo did numbers. And then they did shapes, and then Xbox did letters.
Yeah.
Now we're almost near the end. We've literally flown through. We're only an hour and 12. This is gonna be a longer first episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
The Duke controller. He's a fat boy. This is not a fun controller to hold.
That was not. That actually made you feel like, is this really where my life's going right now? When you hold it, it's just too heavy as well. It's not this fact that it's so big, but it's also heavy.
Yeah, so I think I do think it's D. I think it starts to go in the right direction, but the problem is, especially I still have one. I think what. Oh, I don't even know if
Look, if somebody breaks in, it's a great self-defense tool.
It is.
You trunk it at them.
Yes, I think it's high. I think it's high D. Like it.
Yeah.
It started the process. I don't even know when the Xbox Controller S for the Xbox came out. I think I might have used this one more because I feel like I remember the black and white button being at the bottom. RIP black and white button on the Xbox controller.
Yeah, dude, I forgot about those.
My grenade switches in Halo. That's all I remember them for.
Yes, sir.
So I think it's just a better slimmed down version. It's still chunky, not as chunky.
Yeah, they haven't mastered it yet, but they're going the right direction.
Then you get the Xbox 360, where they really, I think, to me as a kid, this was like the controller.
Yes.
Like,
a lot of people still use them for PC gaming too.
Oh yeah, people still use this. Like, I would say I don't know if we're gonna put it above PS5, but it's
up there. No, it's got to be an S tier. It's iconic.
100% S tier still. Yeah.
Like they took what worked. They have the bumpers. You got the triggers.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Then they decided, you know what? People want to control stuff with their mouth and movement, so they got the Xbox 360 Connect.
Oh God.
That was such a failure.
Hang on, anyone listen to this? Xbox, turn off. Yes, there got someone that's still listening to this through an Xbox.
The coolest thing about that was using your phone and taking like a picture at night, because like you see all the like infrared. And all that coming out.
And then people, you should never have played Uno with this as a kid because people just got on there and did bad things.
Yeah, cameras should not have been included in that thing.
No, and Uno should not have been included with it. I think it was. I think Uno was included if you bought that 360 with the Connect bundle.
For sure.
And then
everyone has Uno.
Yeah, everyone had Uno, and everyone could use their webcam with Uno, and then people were like, "Oh,
a really good video. Everyone has Uno,"
and everyone's got their peeing out on Uno. Weird.
Uno reverse card. That's what they.
Uno reverse card, and all of a sudden you're scarred for life.
It's cool. Like, it's not harmful. It's cool, but what makes me almost want to put this in F? No.
Yeah.
What makes me want to put it F is all the mother truckers in game chats that would have this. Like, this was their default mic, and you just you wouldn't hear like this. You'd be hearing like this. It's so from muffled far back. Too. Yeah, like Like
For what it was, though, I think it still needs to be higher than F, though,
yeah, like
because
it's
it was super advanced.
it is. I would say we just throw it in the middle. Of not
Works.
you don't need to be
It's
yeah,
fine.
don't
It's
need
whatever.
to be in. Uh
I think we're just so over the controllers by now. We just
no,
don't
it's
care.
fine. Listen, Xbox One. I think it's
Still S class.
it's still S.
Yeah.
It does what it loves best. Is it above the 360? I don't think it's above the 360. It really doesn't
No, it's
change.
below
No, because
I think they went
360. Yes, 360 is just like where they should have left it.
Because there's really
Yeah,
nothing wrong with it.
My only problem with the one is that I feel like the only changes they did make to it were bad. Because they had something good with the 360, and it was set up pretty well. And what they did was they spaced out the buttons a little bit. They made it kind of fatter again, which is what we had a problem with the old ones. And I don't know. I don't think they needed to do any of that really.
No.
But it's not terrible. It's still a fine controller. It's just, ugh.
I think it's fine for what it is, and people got a lot of use out of it. The Kinect,
Yeah.
Xbox One Kinect. I think that sold less than the original one because
Didn't even know it existed.
I think I got one just because I got it with the console, and I used it maybe a couple times, like Xbox Turn On, and then that was about it. The Xbox One Elite and Elite Series 2 controllers, I never owned one because I'm not rich. But
I currently use one for OC in a lot of games.
Yeah,
because you can customize the back pedals, and
that's
definitely
honestly,
S tier,
yeah.
just on the back pedals alone.
I would say it's probably we're getting close to like. Would you put it above the PS5 DualSense, or would you put it?
I think they're equal in all.
Yeah, I think so. We'll just kind of mix and match them here,
yeah,
like
that works.
Like this, and because bam, we'll just do. There we go. Look,
Yeah, anybody that wants to buy one, make sure you get one on sale, and they're so worth it.
And then we have the Xbox Series X, and S controller, which is, I think it doesn't change. Like it literally doesn't change much. It adds one button, and then otherwise it's the same. It's a little bit lighter. I think it's a little, but like looking like if you were to look at these like side by side.
Right.
What is? No, you spot the difference? It's the one.
No.
It's the one.
It's like tiny bit thinner. It looks like
that
one.
Might
just be the picture
that
itself,
one
too.
button. Honestly, I think we could just leave it like that because that one button, the share button, and I hit it all the time, and it's so annoying. Because I'm like,
I've never used it purposely.
No,
it's always on accident.
That's the only reason I'm gonna keep it there. And probably, yeah, I think we can.
You could even throw it in A if you wanted to and get away with it.
No,
just because that stupid button.
I still think
it's in the way.
It is in the way. I still think it's S because like Xbox figured out what worked with their controller, and they just kind of have left it alone. Like Sony keeps like doing little things that's improving it, and Xbox hit it right away, and they're like, well, we can't change. We cannot do anything to change this now. We are just locked in. Then you got Nintendo like, yeah, we're just gonna do whatever the fuck we want, and you guys will just like it.
Pretty much.
What the hell's the NES Max?
I've never seen that one.
What the hell is that?
It looks
so
like
if it came out for the Nintendo, that's
it's a redesign. It's a redesigned controller for the Nintendo Entertainment System, manufactured by Bulletproof Software. It looks like it just takes kind of a nicer way to hold. Like to me, it actually looked like this would probably be a better controller to hold and play with for
100%.
this NES. So I'm inclined just to put it like right above the NES one.
Yeah,
like right in front of it.
Agreed.
What Atari Jaguar? What? Why are you back? What?
Just
sort of F. Let's
go.
What?
Yeah, that is.
It's the pro. It's the control. What's the pro controller? Is that a numpad? No. It's a numpad. It's a numpad. They got it back. God,
I'm gonna have to look up later what the numpad even does with those freaking things. Man.
Like what? That's the pro controller. They just added 3 more buttons. That's the proness of that controller. You got
jeez.
PS2 iToy. I think that's just a worse Connect. Like
it's fine. It's not. I would say put it on
D.
I know of a few people that have used it. It works, but it's just early 2000s motion detection technology before the Wii. It's just kind of it's a thing. It does what it does, but besides that, it's not really anything else.
So we'll just put it right there. The
Yeah, it's a D.
Atari
It's a D.
2600 paddle controller for Pong. Look at that. Look at that guy. Look at that Pong controller right there. That guys, I think that's S tier. For
Hey,
what
I bet in those days they probably would
yeah,
have said the
well, that's the
same.
thing. For what it's meant for, which is Pong, I think that's S tier. What else are you doing with that?
You know, I think we should just do it for the hell of it. Why not? We need one joystick in the S tier. Number one.
Well, I mean, it's
right up
that's
there.
a joystick. It's a very flat
that
joystick
is-
for sure.
And also,
What
you're
mistake
just
is-
using it for Pong.
Yep.
That's the Pong controller. Guess what? That does its job for the game.
I mean, just like you use a tennis racket for tennis, you use that for Pong. Same thing.
and
same
then
game.
they decided to go with the Atari 5200 track ball controller. Don't even know what the hell I'm looking at with that. Sorry, why didn't you die? Why am I back with controllers?
Why is Atari still making things in 2021? That's what I want to know.
It's just-
Like, how did
just
they
need to stop.
survive?
What even is? There's a numpad on that.
Throw it away.
Hang on, is that 2 numpads? Did they double up
Oh
with
my
that?
gosh.
Oh,
Why
you
you
and
putting
you and
this
the
stuff
friend
on
each.
Z-tier?
You and the friend each get a
Z-tier.
numpad.
Put it tank this. We're not dealing with 2 numpads.
But you and a friend could have a numpad.
No, tank it. Not doing 2 numpads.
On live is
We're not
another.
both doing taxes.
Just put that right by the Google, like right by all these nonsense controllers. What about your Wii balance board?
I would put it in C. It does a lot of interesting stuff that
I'll
it was designed to.
Tell you, there was a time during like COVID, like the Wii balance board was like everywhere. Like you find them at any Goodwill, any garage sale, and they like the market had tanked. So I passed one over actually at a garage sale recently, and I'm like, I looked it up with Wii Fit, which it came with, and it was like $1. So I'm like, and usually it was like $5, and you were losing money shipping it. Back up to like $20-$30. I'm like,
Wow.
oh, but shipping is still a pain in the butt. 'Cause it's a big boy.
That's true,
I think
yeah.
it's just if you're using it, you're using it for like you're only using it for the workout. Like that's literally the way it is, and that's how Nintendo sold it. They sold that Wii to a bunch of families because like, oh, kids are using the Wii modes, mom and dad are using the Wii board. Nvidia, what do you got going on? What is this?
NVIDIA?
Yeah, they got their shield.
Oh, dear God.
Shield thing.
Yeah, they just put
That's just thievery. That's
They're
all it
just
is.
all that's like because
They're trying to be something they can't be. Just accept it.
yeah, those are their Sony controllers, and the Amazon's like, but we got Xbox controllers,
Yeah.
and so
it's just the same thing.
put them down there, and then Amazon's like, but I got a better Xbox controller now. It's called the Luna. No,
It's the same
no.
thing. Just
And now we have the adaptive controller and the access controller for people who have disabilities, loss of use of like certain parts of the body.
Yeah.
I do know that
I mean-
adaptive controller has gotten a lot of like good praise, like for what it is and what it does. It does allow people to play.
Imagine being in the position of not being able to play you've always wanted to because you have, something you're born with, or something happens to you. Dude, that right there should make it S tier just because of the fact that you can actually still play.
Yeah, it's kind of I'm leaning towards that with both because it allows just it just allows people to be gamers even like if they lose
100%.
ability to do it, and the fact that we're making them now.
trying to
Oh,
figure out
yeah.
how it works.
Well, the Xbox one's
I
just a
see.
giant is just basically two giant. Those are two giant buttons. I'm pretty sure for the Xbox one.
Yeah.
And then the
the
PlayStation one looks a lot more interesting. That one's like a joystick with like a spinny thing. I don't know what's going on with that. That one looks more wild to me, but I do think I've heard good things about both these controllers, and that they're getting use. Like they're not probably getting gigantic sales, but that's not the point of them. It's just to make games more accessible
right.
to everyone.
They both have 4.3 and 4.5 star reviews on Google, which is interesting. I'm trying to figure out how they work.
I think there's plenty of YouTube video, but that's
Oh.
after an hour and 30-ish minutes, we have our ranking. We've decided that the S tiers, I think every Xbox controller besides the Duke controller, plus the Sony PlayStation 5 controllers, and then the adaptive controllers are in our S tier list. But obviously, the top controller is the Pong Atari 2600 paddle controller. Prove us wrong. Prove us wrong. That's the
Mhm.
Would your list be different? I'll provide the link to this tier list, and you can rank them yourself and share it in the Killer Phantom Discord. Argue with us.
And then we want to hear you for an hour and a half debating what's best and what isn't.
Yeah,
So
just make sure. And if we're wrong about something, maybe you love the Bandai Apple Pippin controller. You're wrong.
maybe you like PlayStation dildos,
I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can say that. Maybe you really love all the. Maybe you know what the numpads are for. Maybe you understand why there are numpads on all. Why Atari was obsessed with numpads. To be honest,
we really should have brought someone from that generation on as a guest to give us their ranking.
So you're saying we needed an old person?
Part 2. Tune in next week.
Where we have the oldest person I know, Bay Area Bugs, on the.
Oh, dude, he's over the hill though.
Yeah, but listen, he's not ever going to listen to an hour and a half of this, so we're safe. He won't ever hear that part.
Fine.
So thank you two for joining me. We'll get back to more of a traditional type shoot the breeze, shoot the shit podcast. Soon. Next episode, but this one, hour and a half special intro, Memorial Day weekend. You said it's any time for your family. Come listen to this and watch us on YouTube for a little bit. Your sport means alike.
If you made it this far, wow.
Yeah,
God bless.
Tell a friend about it. Maybe they like OCRP. Maybe they want to listen to us. Maybe they've seen some of us. Like, oh yeah, OCRP. Those cops that get screwed with and Bugs and Ryan's video, that's us, and we're doing they're doing the podcast. They're talking about controllers. Tell people, like, subscribe, all that nonsense that people say to do that I just threw in at the end of an hour and a half video. So if you're at this point, hey, you're probably one to do it. Also this podcast,
that's how you feel.
Yeah, sponsored by Atari 2600. They sponsored us.
And Noah's a player of PlayStation.
Yeah, he did. Yep. We didn't get any.
Love my PlayStation.
Yeah, no money. Yeah, you're wrong, but
nope. Sponsor me, PlayStation. Come on, Sony.
Yeah, you want them to listen to an hour and a half too?
They'll do it. They'll come in here.
They got one video of Gary. It's over. Sponsorship done.
Before this,
Gary's a PlayStation player.
No. Listen, no. Before this goes any longer, we're cutting here. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back at a later date with episode 2. Let us know how this episode went, what you want to see from us talking about, all that stuff. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Couch. I flipped it around now. Now you're the senior. No, you're the senior director.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Bow down.
Weird. Nope, I don't think you can say that. That doesn't seem like something a supervisor can say to a lesser employee.
Bow down.
Nope, we're going to have some HR complaints.
On your knees.
Nope. Okay. All right. We're cutting it short there. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
So much fun. Bye.